I'm never sure what I'm going to talk about until I see my audience. And I preached yesterday at Union Baptist Church in Atlanta. And I got carried away and I was talking too long, so I cut off about half of my sermon. So I'm thinking I might start there and do the other half, but I don't know until, I'm concerned about the polarization of our nation. And I think the polarization of our nation comes about because we have tended to make it a black and white issue. And I was in an all-black church. There may have been 10, 15 white people there. And I was on the verge of talking about Martin Luther King and Lester Maddox when my time started running out, because that would have taken another half hour at least. So both of them, I think, made unique contributions to the South. And they each helped each other fulfill the dream. But we would never put them together. And I do, but I've never done it publicly. And so it seems like that's what I'll try to do tonight. Well, it depends on what you call comprehensive. I think, for instance, it was really important that Martin Luther King had an opportunity to get a PhD degree. Lester Maddox didn't have the educational opportunities that Martin had. And so, but Martin's interest was to look out for people like Lester Maddox. And by the time Governor Maddox and I became friends, we were able to work together on a lot of things. But we don't remember anything but the axe handle. And we don't remember anything but whatever it was that people feel was most, difficult for them to swallow about Martin Luther King. And so while we tend to define each other and define our opponents particularly in extremes, the truth of it is we have a lot more in common. And so for me, Black history is history that happens to involve a complicated problem growing out of slavery. But if you change the colors and reverse them, we probably still would have had those problems. Well, I got run out of the UN for trying to tell people how to handle it. But I think Jimmy Carter and I were right in 1978. And one of the reasons we're having that problem is that, peace does not stand still. History does not stand still. You have to keep moving in the direction of peace, or you'll slip back into you have to keep moving forward together, or you slip back and fall apart. Well, civil rights in terms of race relations, I think, is excellent. Martin Luther King developed his mission was to deal with the triple evils of racism, poverty, and war. I think in terms of racism and war, we're making significant progress. I mean, again, history. I was born in 1932, and the Second World War is what my standard of what a war is. 60 million people were killed. I think it's progress when we didn't have but 60 60,000 killed in Vietnam. And maybe less than 10,000 in Iraq, at least in terms of Americans concerned. But it's a whole lot better when you can run a country like Jimmy Carter did and don't get anybody killed. And if you want to look at that history, he left the economy of the states and of the nation pretty well balanced. You know, I don't have the slightest idea, because I'd like for you to remember the speech I give tonight. No, I mean, life for me has been a ball. And when I look back on, when we look back, we've done a series of films on civil rights movement and Africa. And when I look back on some of those things, people said, "Oh my gosh, how did you live through that? That looks so scary." I mean, I was young enough and maybe foolish enough to really have fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. Even getting beat up was a mark of, like John Lewis got his Presidential Freedom Medal the other day, and he was bragging about 30 concussions.